Well, it is safe to say that fasting is having a bit of a moment, credited with everything from kickstarting weight loss, slashing inflammation, fighting disease and even slowing down the ageing process.
But does fasting really deserve its hero status? And can changing when you eat really outweigh what you eat?
Well, for more on this, our favourite doctor, Helena Popovic, joins us live in the studio. Lovely to see you again.
You too.
Now, fasting, is this just sort of another term for calorie restriction? What are we talking about
No,
here?
it isn't. I was sceptical at the beginning first, but the research indicates that there are distinct benefits to limiting your food intake or not eating for set periods of time that go beyond calorie counting or reducing your calories. And let's just be clear what fasting is. It either means on 1 or 2 days of the week, or even 1 or 2 days of the month, you eat considerably less than you normally would. Or it might mean that for extended periods of time every day you're not eating. And the simplest fast, if you like, is 12 hours overnight.
Right.
Or extending that to 14 hours.
Sure. It's not for everybody, it's important to say. We
No.
will discuss that a little bit later. But what are some of the supposed health benefits of fasting?
Well, so far the research has shown that it actually switches on repair genes. So it means, you know, our cells repair, so it might, and I emphasise the might, reduce the risk of cancer. It does definitely reduce inflammation, reduces the risk of heart disease, oxidative damage, so that means it slows down ageing. But the other thing too, it's found to improve gut function. Your bowels actually perform better and get into a better rhythm if they're not constantly having to deal with food. And our other favourite topic, it actually promotes the growth of healthy bacteria. And when they put mice on a fasting regime, they actually live longer and they're less likely to develop dementia. Now, whether or not this translates into humans, we don't yet know.
OK, because we're told that the body needs sustenance, and if we don't, we can get a little bit spacey, we can get a little bit irritable. So what can happen to the body when we fast?
Everyone's response is very individual. Some people actually get a high from fasting, but there are others who get grumpy. And certainly when you first start restricting your food intake, most people get that grumpiness. And I think the important thing is what you say to yourself about it and planning your day. Don't choose to fast on a day that's going to be really stressful or that you've got not much to do. Make it a day where you're doing lots of enjoyable things, where you can get absorbed in what you're doing and you're not thinking about food all the time. And just remind yourself, it's only for today.
Okay.
Yep.
But the important thing is if you've had a history of an eating disorder, anorexia, bulimia, binge eating, even if you're over them, that's the first group I would say don't get into fasting because it can tip people back into binging on their non-fast days.
OK, so just give us an example, say, of how a day should play out. You sort of mentioned that, you know, the easiest is the overnight. So you sort of have your dinner at 8, for instance, and then perhaps don't have your brekkie at 8 the next morning.
That's
maybe
right.
Start eating at 10 or 11 in the morning.
That's right. And then, because you can eat whatever you like, you know, just go through a normal, healthy diet. The trickier one is when you choose 1 or 2 days a week when you're not eating. And on those fasting days, number one, it's really important to drink more because we underestimate how much water we get through food. So if you're eating less, you risk dehydration. Okay. So firstly, increase your water. And secondly, good quality protein twice a day. So you'd have, say, 300 calories earlier in the day, 300 calories later in the day. A great meal would be, say, 2 poached eggs and some steamed spinach, mushrooms, tomatoes. That's very few, that's less than 300 calories, and you've still got 300 for, say, some steamed fish, steamed veggies later. So the fasting days, no junk, no soft drinks, no smoothies. Don't waste your calories on food that doesn't give you good nutrition.
Okay. We talked about the people who may have had a history of an eating disorder. This is not for them. Who else should not be fasting?
Children, teenagers should not be fasting. If you want to fall pregnant, if you are pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, because it can influence your hormones. If you're really elderly and frail, it can impact your bone mineralisation, so not that. And a lot of people don't realise when you're about to go into surgery or recovering from surgery, you need a lot more calories and a lot more protein, so don't fast then. If you're on insulin, a diabetic on insulin, don't fast either.
All right, don't get hangry.
But can I just say, the best tip is just stop snacking.
Okay.
The best thing that's come out of the research is have longer periods where you're not eating throughout the day.
Give your body a rest.
Yeah.
Great tip.
Thank you.
Helena, thank you.